Biden facing backlash from the Catholic Church. The U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops is blasting the president, saying his support for abortion rights should make him ineligible to receive communion. The Archbishop at the helm of the group's pro-life activities voiced his concern, saying in part, quote, "Because President Biden is Catholic, it presents a unique problem for us. It can create confusion. How can he say he's a devout Catholic and he's doing these things that are contrary to the Church's teachings?" And the Archbishop's remarks come as the committee prepares to meet next month, where they are expected to press the issue. And let's welcome in Lila Rose, founder of president of Live Action, the world's largest online pro-life organization. And she's also the author of the new book out this week called Fighting for Life. Here's the president's backing, pro-choice policies on the campaign trail. Take a listen.
I support a woman's right to choose. I support it's a constitutional right. I've supported it. I will continue to support it. And I will, in fact, move as president to see to that the Congress legislates that is the law as well.
And the Catholic Church teaches human life begins at conception. And you've been quoted as saying you cannot be a practicing Catholic and support abortion. So what's the message Biden is sending to American Catholics when they see him receive communion and then turn around and back pro-choice policies?
I mean, Biden's policy positions here, his argument to propose abortion on demand for any reason is in direct violation of the teachings of Jesus Christ. I mean, Jesus Christ came into the world to give his life for all humankind and came into the world as a baby. It's very clear that Christianity protects the vulnerable and the weak and the innocent. And so for Biden to present himself almost as a campaign tool when he was running for president, and now as sort of a public relations tool as this devout Catholic grandfather, when he promotes the killing of children through all 9 months, I mean, it's directly heretical to the teachings of the Church, and it should be called out roundly, not just by bishops, but by Catholics in general, to say, how dare you use the name of our faith in defending such evil?
Yeah, what are you hearing from fellow Catholics about, what his policies are, and yet he's going to church and receiving communion?
Yeah, for practicing Catholics, I think they're deeply upset and disturbed by it. They're angry by it. I mean, already there's a crisis of education in today's Western Christianity. I mean, whether it's evangelical Christianity or Catholic Christianity, I think many people don't understand basic moral teachings because the culture is so corrupt. I mean, a pro-abortion culture, a culture that recommends sex before marriage, a culture that recommends divorce. And so, as a Christian, you're trying to live your Christian faith, which is a moral faith ultimately, as well as it is a faith of redemption and forgiveness. And so Biden is a terrible example. He's willfully persisting in publicly violating the Christian faith while still calling himself a devout Christian. So it's a terrible example to Catholics, to evangelicals, to any person of faith.
Yeah, you always hear lead by example. I want to switch gears and talk about your new book that is out this week called Fighting for Life. Tell us about it.
Sure. So I wrote this because, as I was saying, even with Biden's example and the confusion in America today around abortion and other moral issues, it's more important than ever that people stand up and fight for what's right and true. Our country is at a crossroads. It's more divided than ever, people would say, but there's also a lot of hope. And so I wanted to write a guidebook for anybody who sees the political crises, the cultural problems, and says, okay, what can I do? I have my job, I have my family, or I'm a student, I'm a grandparent, whatever I am. How can I get involved in the fight to save lives, or any cause that is calling on my heart? What does it look like to make the difference when maybe you're feeling fears or insecurities, or you're not sure where to get started? So that's the story of Fighting for Life is 15 years of me building my organization since I was a teenager to be a global organization to save lives, and how everybody can also make the difference they're called to make.
I love that hope. We all need that. Very quickly, today's National Day of Prayer. What would you like the president and the American people to reflect upon?
Well, I would love for the president to reflect upon the precious innate value of every human life, starting at the moment of fertilization, which isn't the belief of when human life begins. It's what science tells us. Human life begins at the moment of fertilization. And I would just encourage Biden and all Americans to pray for an end to abortion and pray for the protection and the dignity of every human life.
All right, Ms. Rose, thank you so much. Excited to read your book. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.